In the back of an ambulance, chattering machines vibrate on the surface of the road. Outside the window, it's dark and cold. I lose track of where we are. The twists and turns of a mountain road give way to a gentle slope leading into a small town. It's quiet now. I hear the diesel engine idle distinctly as we wait for the green light. Not too long after, the doors open and I'm led out on foot to a wet parking lot. The wet surface reflects the lights from all the buildings. All around me, several large multi-story hospital-like buildings, and one with a main entrance, much like an emergency room, but without all the coming and goings of the sick and injured. Inside, I'm greeted by a soft light in a main reception area. Tables and chairs in what looks like a waiting room. Looks as if they need to be replaced. Stacks of magazines alongside brochures for medications. A woman's voice commands my attention. Her appearance is one of inviting comfort, not at all off-putting. An office awaits us, busy with so many books and papers. A glass door shuts and she begins to speak. I know what she's doing. She's picking me apart, just to see what I'm made of. She wants to see why I am the way that I am. So I play along, because after all, I didn't come all this way for nothing. Questions and information is exchanged for seemingly too long, and her assessment is made, but so is mine. I've got it all figured out at this point. Not really a plan, but I've conceived a character in my head. One who knows what to do, because I'm scared. I'm far from home and alone and afraid. And apparently I'm damaged goods. I begin to worry to myself as I'm led into an even larger building across the same parking lot that greeted me about an hour ago. The woman I've been with this whole time is slightly ahead of me. In this moment, she is my only familiar comfort. As we get closer to the place I'll be staying and in the middle of our conversation, she looks back at me. She says, "Breathe." That's something my mother would say when I get upset. I draw in a chest full of cold, damp air and exhale slowly and completely. A large door opens to a more secure second entry and a group of what appears to be security guards. Once inside, things move quickly. My things are taken from me as I'm searched and undressed for a full inspection. This makes me hostile, but I don't act on it. The next few hours are a blur. If I had to guess, I'd say I was given a sedative, but I honestly don't remember. I do know that my stay on the second floor was short-lived. I was there only long enough to know that the others were young and fake tough. The third floor is where I called home for the next 4 weeks. Dual diagnosed. That's my label in here. Drug addicted and mentally unsound. I was diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety. My drug of choice was pot, but I didn't discriminate. Fitting in didn't happen all at once. The first day or two was mostly me looking at who it was I found myself in the company of, forming opinions of them based on looks and behavior. A few stood out. One younger guy with a messy appearance, looks like he just left Woodstock. Big work boots with no laces, scraped the ground as he walked, a rhythm that became familiar and somewhat funny. There was a tall, older woman who at first had a shocking appearance. Bone-thin and aged skin, big eyes accentuated with some sort of makeup. It all seemed like it didn't belong. Her name was Ginny. A well-kept man with silver hair and a broom-handle mustache. Stocky, with a round face. His most striking feature was a missing limb. His left arm was gone, just below the shoulder. On my second night, he could be seen in his room. Something had his attention. I was pretending to ignore him when I saw him looking at me from down the hall. "Hey," he said, and I reactively turned to his voice. He motioned for me to come to him. Without hesitation, I began walking down the long hall, passing many closed doors. As I get closer, he slips back into his room. I lean my head in, not quite sure what I might see. He's there in gray sweatpants and a matching sweatshirt. He's slicing a piece of chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. A large piece falls from the knife onto a paper plate. "Do you want some cake?" he says with enthusiasm. I accept. Standing with him for as long as it takes to inhale this heavenly dessert, it didn't last long. Not much was said. After I overly expressed my gratitude, I felt as if I should try to make a connection. I told him my father was also missing his arm. I said, "When you get out of here, you guys should go have a pair of gloves." I didn't really get a reaction. He seemed occupied in his mind, and at that point, nothing I said made a noise. I thanked him again and went back to my room. The door opens slightly. A hand holding a flashlight enters and scans the room rather quickly. Me laying in my bed, wide awake, watches this take place every 15 minutes for the entire night. I didn't sleep. Between the regular interruptions of the night watch and the insufferable gas that has my abdomen painfully bloated, most likely a side effect of the meds and stress, my night was not one of peaceful slumber. This environment is agitating even to the most relaxed among us. One bathroom, per gender on every floor. The tile floors are wet and sticky. Shower stalls lined up with vinyl curtains. You press a chrome button on the wall and a weak trickle of lukewarm water spits and sputters out of a dirty old shower head. After 2 minutes, you hit the button again to keep the water flowing. Towel off awkwardly and go back to my room. Tall windows bolted shut in every room provide some natural light and a mediocre view of the southern Vermont landscape. Frozen shallow pond in the foreground is a reminder of the life's uninterrupted on the outside. I hesitate at the window for a moment. In a medicated trance, like dreams have found a way to become interwoven with reality. I feel messed up. I guess I'm in the right place. So this is life now. We wait all day for nothing. Always waiting. Idle time is all we have in here. Breakfast and lunch is brought to us on steel trays. The meals are so unremarkable that if you asked me at dinner time what I had for lunch, I would draw a blank. There is a community among the patients, some of us anyway. A few are unfit for social interactions. We talk about our past lives, our regrets, and our hardships. We all tell the same story, seen from different perspectives. Drugs act as a main player in our tales. We all have that in common. Time ticks by slowly as our minds race. Our abrasive qualities are softened in the comfort of our retreat from the mess our lives have become. Here, we are not our mistakes anymore. Here, we have a chance to start over. This is where our stories begin.